What's up guys, Jacob from KillerTech here, and I'm bringing you guys a review of the Corsair Obsidian 900D. Now Corsair have released some great cases in the high-end case market, that being the 800D, which was a great case, and this pretty much is just a more pumped up version of the 800D. Now the 900D is a really enthusiast case, and there's a lot of features that make it that, and it's going to take me a while to go through them, but I'm going to try and do it anyway. Now as you can see, the 900D motto is "What will you do with all this room?" Now as soon as I saw the box, I knew this was going to be a really big case, and as you can see, yeah, it is a really big case. Now it has a lot of room in it, and I'm really not sure, like, you could put 4 graphics cards in this case, and like you've still got room for eight cards if you had the motherboard that could support that. So really this case has a lot of potential, and the space really allows you to do anything. Now this case with the awesome tinted window on the side is really aesthetically pleasing. Now this case also supports dual power supplies, which is really good for getting more juice into your system, and also something pretty cool is there's 10 expansion slots, so you can slot at least 4 cards and a sound card, and maybe even more. On the back of the case there is a button that when holded releases the side panel. This works exactly the same on the other side of the case. Unfortunately mine was a little bit stiff, but I think that was just that particular case. Now to access the basement there is a flip switch that when you flip it will slowly come down. It won't just fling down and make a dent in your table, it comes down really nicely. Then we have a magnetic dust filter which works really well, and is going to prevent any dust from gaining access to your case, so that's really good because I hate having to wipe it all out. Basement door is also the same on the other side. Inside the case you can find 3 hard drive cages. Each one has 3 hard drive slots inside them, which I think also support SSDs. They are completely screwless, and to get the hard drive to fit in, all you do is bend it back and they can easily be slotted in with the appropriate holes. Now something I thought that was pretty cool is Corsair includes a little cardboard box that turns out to be stuffed full of a large variety of different screws, which is really good. Most of them I didn't use, but it's still something that's nice to have just in case you need them. One of the 3 hard drive cages is also hot swappable, which basically means it's wired in at the back, and all you have to do is slot the hard drive in and it's wired up, ready to go. You can also reposition all the hard drive cages, which is pretty cool, and you could also even add more if you desired more hard drives. The entire top of the case is vented, which allows you to mount fans and also radiators, and it is also filtered for dust, so you won't get any dust building up in your PC. Something else that I was impressed with about this case is that the whole of the case is dust proof, which is really good because it means that you're not going to have to go in after building the system after about 3 months and clean all the dust out, which is a really good thing not to have to do. Now something that Corsair always does right is cable management. In all of their cases, including the 900D, there's always been great cable management, and as you can see here there's some great cutouts with plastic around the sides to stop you from being able to see the cables from the other side, and also on the back there is loads and loads of different clips and hooks and these plastic things here. I do recommend you take these off before building the system and then reattach them and then cover all the cables up to make it a little bit easier. And also a power extension for the CPU, which is really good because sometimes in certain power supplies the CPU power cable cannot reach all the way up, especially if it's a big chassis. So this is really good, and I really like how Corsair have included this. Taking a look at the front of the 900D, there is a panel at the bottom that clicks off in each corner, and as you can see here there is another dust filter, which is awesome again. And I didn't really show this, but the case is held together by a lot of tape when it's first shipped to you, which I'm guessing is just to stop things falling out in shipping, which is also a nice feature because it shows that they care about whether it arrives in one piece on arrival, which is good. And as you can see, that dust filter is a snazzy dust filter with sides that are also filtered, which is pretty cool. And I haven't really talked about the fans on this case, but as you can see there is 3 fans at the front. There is also 1 fan on the back as an exhaust fan, which is also good. Now looking at optical drives. Now it was quite hard, I think, for Corsair to pull off something that still looked cool in terms of optical drives, because as you can see they had to put these little parts in on either side so that there isn't a massive hole in the front of the case. and luckily they did that pretty nicely. It looks okay. Not that many people use optical drives anymore. I think I'm the last person that does, but they pulled it off pretty well. And on the top of the case there's a power button, as you can see there where the light is, and then we've got audio jacks for headphones and microphones. Then we've got 2 high-speed USB slots, a reset button, and 4 normal USB slots. Now, water cooling is really where the 900D shines. Now, the main thing about water cooling is you want to be able to fit as many radiators as possible. Now, you can fit a 480mm radiator in the top, and you can also fit 2 480mm radiators on either side in the basement, and there is also space, I believe, for a 360mm radiator in the front. Most of the frame of the 900D is made out of metal, apart from some of the insides that are made out of plastic. Now, with the 900D, it is really hard to give people an idea of how big it really is, so here are the dimensions. Now, I have to say, after rebuilding my system in the 900D, it is a really good case, and it was just so easy. Everything is very easy. You don't need hardly any tools unless you're going to fit things like extra fans in, which might be something I'll do in the future. But you know, just the cable management is great. It looks smart. Anybody can cable manage this case, and it's really good. Now, at the moment, my build in this case is pretty kind of low end. I mean, apart from the 290. It's pretty low end, but I am planning on upgrading it and water cooling. I recommend that if you aren't planning on water cooling and your build so far is pretty low end, or you're planning on a pretty low end build, do not go with this case, because there's a lot of features you'll be paying for that you just aren't going to use. One thing that I think you should have in this case, which is, to be honest, in my opinion, a must-have, is case lighting. Now, I went with the NZXT Hue, which is an all-in-one lighting kit with controls, and you can check out that video right here. So, like I've said before, this is a great case. I highly recommend that you buy it if you're looking on building a high-end gaming PC or just upgrading from another case. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next video.